Aim! Okay, so I got a call Judy. Hey, Judy. Oh, actually, I need to... Oh, I can actually open up my messages from there. Wait, what? Mama Wells? Wait, oh, do I still can't reply to that? Or is it just too late? I don't think I can reply to that one now. Mr. Hands has got a thing there, cool. Okay, well I can't do shit about that.
B, you called.
Told you I would.
Promised I'd call, didn't I?
Promising's one thing, keeping it's a whole other bag. So, managed to learn anything?
I don't know everything.
Evelyn's not at Clouds anymore. Behavioral chip was damaged. Apparently they carted her off to a ripper dock. Goes by Fingers.
Oh shit.
Know where to find this Fingers character?
Yeah, runs a dinky chop shop off JJ Street. Fuck B. Guy's all kinds of bad news.
Heading there now to find her.
Okay, oh shit.
I told her to stay the fuck away.
I'll say, it seems like there's not much repercussions for stealing people's cars.
Oh my, place has a wicked vibe.
Yeah, look at that dancing.
So this more up your alley than Clouds?
Hey, at least here you know what you're getting.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna find Fingers Clinic during down this prostitute alley, this red light district.
You can see it.
Oh shit, stuff I can steal.
You want trouble?
No, I want that shit.
Ara, sticky ne. Sometimes life is good. Oh.
Today, life is
What's
good.
up, gorgeous? Nice.
Oh wow, you're like real red, buddy. Wait, what the fuck was that on the top of her arms? Not to have my sword out. She's got like crystals on her arm, that's cool. Oh, hi.
Can you talk? It is important.
Sure, why not?
What's
Go for it.
important?
I may have found a solution
Well, don't you look
to the problem we
delicious.
share.
Come here and let me
I
have
have
a lick.
established a contact
Go on
with
in.
an old friend from Arasaka.
Lick me.
He's here in Night City now. He's well connected to certain influential people.
Old friend, well connected to the
Here,
influential.
kitty, what's the
Why so
rush?
mysterious? Get to the point.
Shit. Let's take a
I
joke.
told you once I would explore options.
I mean,
knock on many
if you can't take your sword out when seeing a
There
stripper,
will be
when
a
can you?
meeting. You, me, and this friend of mine. You will tell him what you told me. The truth of events
Ain't no
at
snitch.
Konpeki Plaza. I have little hope that he will be convinced. But it will be a start.
Of all people, you ought to know Night City tests everyone's reliability. Even
I'm also
that
thinking
old
maybe we
friend.
should actually try and do some
Sure about this guy?
side
Trust
missions.
him?
Because it kind of just leads you straight into the next part of the mission. It's never like finished.
Yes.
He's just
I
Ash and
trust him.
Keanu Reeves.
Fine. Where's the meet and when?
Japantown. After sunset. I am sending you the precise location. I'll see you there.
Yeah, you better. So, what we got in our journal? We probably got loads. So we got 3 main jobs, and then we got a few other ones. Oh shit, rides, gigs. What's a gig? Thievery. Oh okay. Oh, so it's just side jobs. I was kind of hoping it was music based because when we found Keanu, it was musicy. Don't need to give advice, but fuck here it goes. Don't make the same mistake I did. Say goodbye to the people you love, you know what I mean, right? Jackie Wells one of your best tune, and you don't find a lot of straight up people like that in NC. Best thing you can remember is, oh, and one more thing. If anyone asks, I didn't just say that. Got it. Cool Mama Wells. Alright, well, let's track that objective. Alright. I'm in a hostile area? What's going on?
V, good to hear you. Finally. Been a long time since we talk. Since when Jackie passed away.
How are you doing?
How you think? My son is dead.
Well, did you like him?
But I am hanging
You might be
in there.
happy.
Calling to offer my condolences.
Offer your condolences.
That move looks painful, man.
Ay, Jesucristo, V. You lived under our roof. Have the decency not to treat me like some stranger you just met. I was going to call you. I prepared an ofrenda for Jaquito. We can't let him go without a proper goodbye. The ceremony will be at the Coyote Cojo. Many of his friends will be there.
I'll be there.
Say no more, Mama Wells.
You know,
I'll be there.
I haven't played in so long.
I did not doubt it for a second.
I'm just gonna have some sushi first.
Ahí te veo, V.
Later, Stater.
What you got to eat?
See for yourself.
Actually, I probably have some of that in my inventory. Most consumables. Yeah, I've got loads. Fuck. Okay. What just helps health? Okay, I can't sort into which ones like health and which ones are different. Fuck it. Pop turds. They sound tasty. Oh, actually, yeah, shit. We should change our weapons up. We got some new weapons, or we got our old weapons back, more specifically. Sounds way better. Actually, we're gonna start off with a pistola. 238. Okay, that was one of the special guns, wasn't it? Sweet. Don't have any mods for it yet. No worries. So 146 assault rifle, 121, 117. Well, I can get rid of that shit, can't I? Fuck that noise. Yeah, fuck that noise. Well, I guess we'll fuck that noise. Okay, we've got muzzles here, so silencer reduce damage by 15%. Silencer increase crit chance by 10%, reduce base damage by 30%. And 2 times damage multiplier when attacking from stealth. Silencer reduce damage by... I'm going to go with this one, because it reduces the damage by the least. Which is generally preferable. And then I could give it a different scope if I wanted. I'll keep it with that one. And last but not least, Katana. Alright, we've got £4,000. I think what I'll do is I will probably sell the other stuff rather than dismantle it for now. Yeah. Hey, Invaliders! How you doing today, dude? How are you? I saw you were playing some of this yourself earlier. How have you been digging it? Yeah, it looks silly, doesn't it? Although silly's good, I guess, in this world. Fuck it. Alright, cool. Vesta's looking nice. Increases evasion. What's this shit? Increases armor by 20.16. Wait, what? Reduces damage from negative effects. Make sure you want to change mods. Your currently equipped mod will be destroyed. Oh shit, really? Okay, let's see if I can put a mod on... It's just one that's got a mod. Okay, the trousers? Can I put a mod on the trousers? No. Put in another 5 hours, fucking A, nice. You're fully captivated by this game. Yeah, for real, man. Hey, I got a bra, nice. Yeah, you just want to keep playing it, especially because it just leads you so nicely into like the next stuff. It's always like quite fluid. And everyone likes fluids. What time did I end last night? About 9 o'clock in the end. I think it was about 9 o'clock I ended. Put that away for now. Yeah, about 9 o'clock. Then I slept for a bit and started today at about 6:30 or so. Man, the characters so far have been great. Like, really, like, love the characters so far. They've, like, built the characters very well in a short time. Oh, fuck me, that frame droppage, though. I need to get a proper car, but my boy needs to make bank. That's why I think I need to do loads of side missions. Because I ain't got no cash. And I still need to pay back that dude, Vic. I think I've run out of content for a while. What levels are you? I am... Oh, that's a good shout, actually. I haven't been checking. I've got loads... Oh, I've got a few to upgrade to. So, 5, 6, 5... Oh, there was a gun I can use at 6, actually. So, we will... bump that one up. Nice. But yeah, this is basically what my levels are at the moment. I'm level 9 overall. Yeah. So what you're working on right now to get Vic his money? Yeah, I want to get Vic his money because I feel like we might be like a nice little payoff for getting his dough back. And then just buy lots of really weird cool shit and like robot bodies and stuff. Maybe I bump this one to 6 as well just to keep it all like I'm just doing a nice level playthrough apparently. Increase max stamina. I think that's a good one to have actually because we fight with stamina and gusto. Maybe not those. Increase damage from strong attacks with blunt weapons. Things I don't really use blunt weapons. Blunt weapon. Or is a blunt... Does your hand count as a blunt weapon in this? Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, technically your hand's a blunt weapon because it's not going to cut anybody unless you're really good at like judo chops. I don't know how good my character is at judo chops. Does anyone know how good my character is at judo chops? We haven't been exploded much yet, so I won't upgrade that one just now. Atmos vulnerability demon which reduces physical resistance for all enemies, network, blah blah. And big sleep demon which disables all cameras in the network for 3 minutes. That's actually a pretty decent one. Upgrade to data mine demon increases the amount of $dollars acquired from access points by 50%. Wait, what? I can take money out of access points? I don't even know what that is. I'll find those first before I actually unlock that one, maybe. Then. Increase the breach time for breach protocol by 20%. Quick hacks deal 10% more damage. Unlocks craft and specs for uncommon hacks. Refills an enemy net runner when they're attempting to hack you. Eliminate a target affected by quick hack instantly removes one cover. Okay. I might go for this one, you know. Okay. You're great at judo chops? Oh, okay. I kind of thought that about you. You just, you know, you have an air of judo about you, you know? Yeah, I'm not sure about my character. We'll find out. He hasn't gone to judo club yet. Silence weapons while sneaking. No throwing and jumping onto people. Increases resistance. After defeating an enemy, gain cold blood for 10 seconds. I don't know what cold blood is. But we've got 0% on it at the moment, so maybe we should start trying to get that. That stacks as well. Stacks up to a whole 1 time. What the fuck is cold blood? I'm going to do it just because I don't know what cold blood is, so we might as well use it. Oh, Carl's middle name is Judo? Haha! That's the last puzzle I needed in that. I can now officially take his face legally and become him. The law's funny, isn't it? Everyone's saying hello to each other in car form. This one's super far away, but I think I'm actually going to drive just so we can see the sceneries of it, you know?
Hey, B!
Hello!
Hear me?
Hey, it's Wilson.
Loud and clear, you don't need to yell.
Wilson!
Doing a little competition. Shoot, prizes and all. You know, over here with the range.
Yeah, that'd make sense.
Well, win.
I didn't think big parties were your thing.
Yeah, well, it ain't a big one, but, you know, we're low on heads. Bring the clients. Attract them.
Good try
got to
selling
do
iron
business.
straight from the factory. Skip the whole part where you tinker for hours on each little shooter.
thing. My dignity, please.
You ain't got dignity, bitch.
Sure, I'm in. When?
Well, right now. We'll wait on you. See ya.
Right now. Someone else is calling me? Man, I am busy as
Already?
fuck today. Jeez.
Sure got that ear to the ground.
Siempre. Anyway, you need something. You know where to find me.
Alright. Well, I'm just going to a nice funeral first, if you don't mind. I don't know if I'm really dressed for a funeral. Hope they don't mind that. I turned up, that's the main thing, right?
We got to get rid of it.
Oh, this is where we start the game.
It's pretty massive.
Or is it? Actually, is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is the opening one, isn't it? I think so. Oh, hello.
Nice to see you.
To see you, nice.
Oye, sit. Sit. You want a beer?
Yeah, sure, go for it, thanks.
Wouldn't mind one.
Jack McCrary and the Spider-Bot could have went Asia, but job done? Nice, fucking A.
Salud.
Hey, as long as it gets done, that's what they say. Salut.
A lot of time has passed. How you been?
It doesn't look to be any liquid in it.
Hanging in there somehow.
Somehow. You could have come over for dinner.
Oh, I didn't know
Nuestra
dinner was on the
casa
table.
es tu casa. But okay. We put it behind
You didn't
us.
invite me for dinner.
I am in
Did
the
you just
middle
make me
of
dinner and not tell
preparing
me?
an ofrenda. There
I mean, that's on you.
Still so much to take care of.
An ofrenda. What's that exactly?
Friends and family. We gather to celebrate the departed. Our memories of them.
Great turnout. Great,
And we
great
bring
turnout.
things
Lots of
they
friends and
loved
family that
in
came
life
along.
And might need in the after.
You just brought
Sure,
beer?
some beer would be at the top of Jack's
Yeah, see, there we
list.
go.
And there will be beer.
Hey, let me help you.
Could help you with that.
Gracias, mi cielo. But I will
I mean, you didn't tell me you were putting me out a plate
enough
either.
you come to
People
say
just need to
goodbye.
tell me they're putting out a plate for me and I'll be there.
Want to take part in
Every
the
time.
ceremony, but want to do it the right way, in line with tradition. But something I'd lay by his casket that'd do justice to his memory. I don't got anything.
Why don't we just chop our foot off?
But your heart
We walked a lot
is
with
in the
him.
right place, mi niño. Don't worry. He's symbolic. Look for something in his garage. His past is all there.
His garage,
He
you
had a
mean?
garage?
Garage?
He used it for his motorcycle, mostly.
Oh, I'm going to nick his motorcycle because my car's
Not
gone.
so long ago he moved in.
We'd be good to go 7 p.m.
You'll find
GMT
something
Saturday. I should be. I should be.
You
I
won't
believe
mind
so.
me digging through his stuff?
No, mijo.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think
gone,
we're doing
and
anything
funerals
game
are
related
for the
then.
living.
So as long as nothing game
Dead.
like dev related comes up,
Toma.
I should be damn good for that. Yeah.
Thanks, Mama Wells.
Don't mention it, V.
So do you like my nail polish? No one's
You
commented
have
on it.
respect. My
You look
man,
like you'd appreciate my nail.
the garage is on
polish.
Republic. Ahí te veo.
Oh, for a split second I really thought we might be able to actually play that. Someone was killing at this game last night in a different place. They were really killing it. Hey, floor stuff. I love floors. And I love floor stuff. So something comes up. Yeah, cool, cool. But otherwise, yeah, I should be good to go. Is are most of the other usual suspects already down and in? Man, they put advertising wherever the fuck they can in the future, hey. New job, get an upgrade. On what?
Ivy.
Oh. Just sitting here, alone?
You here alone?
What's
This is
wrong?
not exactly the safest
The Blade
neighborhood
Runner
in town.
convention's not in town? Boom, get him.
I used to sit on the stairs when I was 10. 26 now.
That's not even a stair, that's
If
just a
anything was
step.
gonna happen,
If anything, she's
it wouldn't have
downgraded.
taken this long.
What are you doing here?
Sitting and waiting. And yeah, waiting for him. Though I know he's never coming back.
Yeah, he's dead. Move the
Lately,
fuck
I've
on.
just been coming here to sit.
And thank you very much
an
for the
hour.
quote, Kyle.
Sometimes two. I know
Camera
it's
crew,
long, it's just
Jasumi, Jesse right now.
I
Fair.
miss him
I'm sure Bax will be down.
a lot.
We need to get... Aslan
Wanna
doesn't
sit?
play it as much, does he? We
Catch
should
up?
get her into it.
Hardly gonk at all.
We'll look in the
Just,
garage in a minute.
Well, human.
I guess.
You right, Aslan? Okay, cool. Maybe Pecora threatens her. It's like, no, there is no murdering in our house. Which is fair, you know.
You know each other long?
So before or after
Half our
you
lives.
starred in the
Grew up in the same
1970s
streets.
version of Blade Runner?
Saw each other a lot, but just never got together.
Till
Look
a
at my
year
arm.
back.
It's veiny.
Yeah,
So is that one.
best darn year of my life.
Jack talked about you a lot.
Aslan needs to play Paz as well, full fucking
Always
sure.
saying how much you meant to him.
Did he really say that? I bet he used different words.
Maybe. But that's
Imagine
what
like
he meant.
Mighty, Einen,
I
what was it,
really
like
believe
Red,
that.
Val. We usually
You
have like
actually got to
enough
know
people
him.
for like more than a
The
full
real
lobby. It's just as
Jackie.
long as everybody's like
Everybody
around
else
that day, I
thought he
guess.
was a goofball with a rough-hewn face and an edge. But they're wrong.
I know. Her hair's pretty cool though.
No, Jack was a little of that too. Always looking on the bright side.
He was the truest of
He wore
gents.
his heart on his sleeve.
Me and Azan should be in a
And
lobby
wasn't
together
at
for
all
Faz.
afraid
Yeah,
to be
that'd be awesome. I'd be totally
Had
down
his
for that.
inner demons,
Me and
though.
Bax take you and Aslan on
doesn't.
a ghost trip round town or
Exactly.
something maybe.
They're what makes us who we really are on the
Cora can
inside.
get Aslan killed. I'll get you killed. That'll be lovely.
There's a huge chunk of his past in there.
How come you're outside?
Miss
I don't have
Aslan.
the key.
Yeah.
Jackie never gave
She
you
lost
a
her
set.
fingers. She can't type now.
You
Yeah.
two didn't get that far?
Got your 21k.
Offered,
Nice, oldest
but I
dude.
wanted him to have his own space. Just his own.
Don't tell me if anything happens with him or not. I'll be happy just to give him his money back for some sterling work
Mama
he did
Wells is having
previously.
a send-off for Jackie. I need to find something he really cared about.
You should totally come to the funeral, Misty. You'll love it. It's gonna be
Might
really
give me a
fun.
hand.
I'm not sure I should go in there, V.
Still too soon?
Get the fuck up.
No, it's not that. Mama Wells and I aren't exactly on the best terms.
Did you shit in her cat?
She wouldn't want me touching
Shouldn't shit in
any
people's
of his
animals.
things. Disturbing the memory. That I know.
Jackie would want you here.
Jackie loved your hair.
That's more
It
important.
flows everywhere. Look at it.
Come on.
He would want you to have your hair in here again. Now, if there's an angry bear in here, I'm gonna be very happy. No. Oh, a basketball though. Oh shit, he loves basketball. Oh shit, he loved to pump iron. Yeah. So he loved to pump iron. Can we just put his motorbike in there? Right. Also, yeah, I just need to steal what I can. He loved poking around engines. He loved bins. Oh shit, there was stuff in the bin. Sweet. He liked using bins. Key to Jackie's room. I'm gonna look under his mattress and see his unmentionables.
Oh, Jackie.
That
Oh, scanner shots
Mandala?
of Jared. Yeah, that's pretty badass.
It's a long story.
Could you tell me in a moment, please? I need to actually.
hey,
I need to scan this room.
all right?
I'm so much better than all right.
Oh,
I once told Jackie he should sweep all the dark energy out of this place.
yeah.
A sand mandala'd do the trick, for example. He told
Oh.
me that out of sand.
Oh,
he'd
he
build
never
a
got to
castle,
finish it,
a
man.
home.
It's pretty badass,
Wells
to be honest. That's
family
cool.
hideout, stronghold.
These candles, he lit them before. He went out,
Guess you made
he
a
left his
bigger
candles
impression
on when he
than
went
you
out.
thought.
He's been gone for ages and these candles been burning. First of all, awesome candles. Second of all, that's incredibly irresponsible.
It's beautiful.
It's hideous,
Fuck you.
but it's also the most beautiful thing I've
It's,
ever
it's
seen.
cool. I like it. Fuck you. Putting down, you're the reason he's dead. Putting down his efforts and shit. An aquarium, cool. I love aquariums.
Love to poke around.
What you do to
edges.
Jackie? I do shit.
I was 15 when I first got on a bike.
Knowing him, it's a miracle
Thank
he
you for the
never
quote.
wiped out. Jackie loved to pump iron, didn't he?
He called it his form of meditation. He used to say barbells are the best listeners. They understand all your problems and never give you gonk advice.
Well, that's really dumb.
It's a fine piece of metal in mechanics. He was so psyched. Guess no man cave's complete without some of those, huh?
Like titty pics.
He said they're collectibles.
Collectible titty pics.
That's definitely why they're up there. Yeah. Still full.
His favorite. Strategic reserve. No touching.
How come?
¿Por qué no puedes tocar una reserva estratégica, va?
Sure. I was paying attention to what you just said.
For whom the bell tolls. Ernest Hemingway.
Jack read it a dozen
Man, don't you hate that Ernest Hemingway ripped off Metallica? Like, he's such a dickhead. Get your own thing, Hemingway. Prick.
You read it? Is it any good?
I never got the chance.
It'd be a good tribute for the Ofrenda, though. Basketball signed by Dante Gonzalez.
He was from Haywood, too. Everyone here shot hoops. Dante ran circles around him. I think he might have been the first kid to ditch the Valentinos.
Like Jackie.
Mm-hmm. They both wanted more out of life. Dante's captain of the NC Blackouts now.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah. I didn't hear about that, but makes sense.
Gotta be hanging here since 2020.
Oh, shit. I remember that year. Do you guys remember that year? Huh. Seems like so long ago now. I mean, let's scan the garage. What else do you want?
An aquarium.
It used to be tacos.
And Taco was...
Miss Fish.
Oh.
A dwarf shark. Like, mini.
Trying to turn the
Sounds
booze
like
out.
a mighty expensive fish.
Oh, I don't think he bought it.
Oh. Hey, Louis! How you doing today, buddy? My God, if it's not my favorite Fizzle playing the shit out of Night City, you know it, my man. You know it. Yeah, we played a fuckload of this already, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. Thoroughly. How are you doing today, dude? Euro dollars. Get some. Oh yeah, just stole a shitload of his money. That's awesome. That's what friendship's about, really.
Nice still. Leather belt.
Sex stuff.
Sort of a memento. His dad's. He used to beat both Jackie and his mom with it. Until one day, Jackie fought back.
See why I'd want to keep it.
Told him he'd kill him next time. Old man was hospitalized. And he left.
Alright, fucking hell.
Why'd he hold on to
In
it?
case his dad ever comes back.
Oh. We'll just get a gun.
It's gotta be Jackie's dad.
Old school ganger. Valentinos, of course.
Did you meet him?
You're the first stream we've seen playing this. The other one was in the beginning. For how long have you been playing it? Good to work. Now it's time to chill. Fucking A, yeah. This will be good. I'll take the belt. That was his trauma. So I've been playing for just under 3.5 hours today, and I played it for just over like 8.5 hours yesterday. So good while. Jack in. Oh, I just meant to press F. Okay. Oh, okay, so I got the Euro dollars for that bit. I didn't really want to just steal his money. I kind of wanted to... I should have looked at the other options, really. Oh well. Shit happens. I found for you and V. He heard about you, remembered all too well, even though he wanted to meet with V. Blah, blah, blah. So the boys are competing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Zivits versus Blanco. Cool, nice. Jackie, my man! You won't believe your luck. A collector selling a beauty in premium condition. So I still haven't scanned and searched the garage. I thought... What have I missed? I mean, it won't let me scan or pick this up. Is that going to be like the last thing I was meant to scan, but it won't actually let me? I personally think we should take the belt. That's a bit harsh. Might take the Ernest Hemingway book. They did say that would be a good one at one point. Must be something I'm missing.
Bitch better have my money.
Bitch better have my money. How you doing? There, Adam, baby. And Blanco all the way. Well, he's got those electric powers and this green. I think he'd do it too. So I am wondering if... Yeah, this bottle was the last thing we're meant to scan, but I just can't physically pick it up or scan it for whatever reason. It looks like it's been scanned because I can already tell it's tequila, but it's the only thing that's, like, shows up, like, yellow. Everything else is blue because we discovered it. Okay, Rust Off for Saturday is me, you, Jesse, Hatter, Almighty, Bax, Iron, and Gil so far. Fucking A. Sounds good. And that's an all-star cast right there anyway, so... I'm sure that everyone else will see it and be like, damn, we need to get in on this shit. So I'm thinking we'll take the Ernest Hemingway book, because it's the only one we really said would be a good one. Although he's like into his equipment and shit. Let's do it.
Jack, pure and simple.
Well, you got something for your friend.
You need to learn about
We can
mirror
look
hide and
around a
seek.
little more.
What's mirror hide and seek? Wait, but did she say we should look around a bit more? Oh, scan and search the garage optional. I think I have done that then, or is it just saying something else? I think that book will be fine. I didn't actually listen to what she said after I picked the book up, so I'm assuming it'll be alright. Is there anything that... I think it must just be that bottle that's not scanned right that is not letting me finish like scanning everything in these rooms. So everything lights up when you can scan it pretty much, especially when you're near it. Take part in the Ofrenda at Ellicott de Cayo. Alright, fuck it, let's go.
Better get going.
Well, Mary, you have to go through a giant decompression tube for 15 seconds to get to the main room for tasks. Oh, really? Okay.
Say bye to
So
me.
just blood off your head does sound it, to be honest.
Mama Wells wouldn't want me
Like,
there
turn the
anyway.
cooldown off and shit. Alright, can I actually steal his bike?
What happened between you two? What's the beef?
Let's just say she didn't see me as daughter-in-law material.
What do you have against you?
Yeah.
That my name wasn't Camila and I wasn't Jackie's ex-output. Camila was Mama Wells' favorite.
Just say X output instead of X like,
Right.
partner now? Why not just X? You should come. He
You
loved
gotta
you.
come, Misty. You got a right to be there.
Yeah, he dug you. That's
I'd
what
rather
matters.
not get in Mama Wells' way. It's for family.
You were family to him.
I guess you're right. Thanks, V.
She's too busy waiting for the
Shall we go?
reboot of the reboot of Blade Runner. Yeah, let's take part.
You ever thought you might leave Night City?
I thought she said she wasn't going to come.
Once upon a time, I even tried.
Seriously? Meaning...
Packed my bags and hopped on a
When's the
plane.
new map out? Oh, what, on
Didn't
Among
call.
Us?
Thought I'd stay there. After a week, I realized
I personally
couldn't
have no
live
idea.
without the
I've been in
traffic
that area
outside my
hostile
window
for
and my
ages
neighbors
now.
hollering.
I don't know if that's also a glitch. I shouldn't still be in a hostile area. And there's no one like actually hostile against me. So you coming in then? Wait, where's my thing 50 meters back there now?
I'll see you at the Coyote then.
Why is the marker still there? Don't know, maybe Christmas Day release or maybe they push it back. You want to play it though? Yeah, for sure.
My deepest thoughts. He was a fine boy.
Hi, I'm here, guys. Sorry I'm late.
To him, padre. A few glasses.
De acuerdo.
Hey, V.
V,
Oh, go on.
it's good you're here.
Yeah, I'm
We're
real
about
good.
to start.
I'm here in time for the jams. Okay, but who's playing guitar? Oh, boy, Jackie, man.
I thank you
What are the
all
other
for
rules of
coming
murder?
today.
Get away from it fast once you've done it.
I'm not going to tell you what kind of man my son was.
Don't say any words
Or lament
for at least
about how
73
much
minutes after a murder. You just gotta be safe.
tell
Just
you a
standard
story.
practice. Don't go swimming for an hour
When
after
he
murder.
was
That's one of the big
about
ones.
19 years old.
He was
Jackie
never
was in the
19.
Medellins.
Whoa.
They were at war with Maelstrom back then. I get a
Was
call.
oh, that's that Vic. This is Vic next to me. Nice.
tell me he got shot 3 times.
Oh, she did turn up. She said she wasn't going to turn up and shit, but she did.
He was conscious when I get there. So many tubes coming out of him. He looked like a pulpo, like an octopus.
It's pendejo. It's pendejo.
He told me. He said, "No te preocupes, mama."
I think I should get up and start rapping. She's losing the crowd, man. Look. They're not even paying attention to her. They're not even looking at her, half of them.
And when I go, he take off his Valentino's ring.
Oh, can I have it?
He swear he won't need it anymore. But he was not scared.
Can I rob the
He just
offerings?
didn't want me to worry.
I'd quite like to rob them.
Descansa en paz, mi hijo.
I could sell that and pay back Vic. Oh, Vic. Just gonna punch people in the face because he's so angry. Say something.
Among the membership of the Night City Devils Boxing Club, we had this saying. Make your best friends among the fighters who knock you out cold.
Well, that's not a bad shout.
And it's true. Jackie's arm was a cannon.
Pew pew.
No one's ever hit me as hard. I can still almost
Fucking have him. I'll fucking have you then, Vic. I just ain't hit you yet, bro. You. I've got part metal hand. That'll hurt. You gave it to me. You got a runny nose? What's wrong?
12 rounds, buddy.
I mean, he wasn't 12 though. 12 rounds isn't really applicable in this situation.
Me mandó Camporta. Lamenta no estar aquí. Todavía le quedan 4 años que cumplir. Me pidió que leyera esto.
Oh, okay.
Recuerdo cuando Jackie se nos unió. Era un niño fuerte. Cuando decía que iba a hacer algo, cumplía. Tenía honor. Podría haber llegado lejos. Mis condolencias a la familia. Que descanse en paz.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, random man.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Time for me to take the limelight. I'm egotistical.
I
Fuck it.
often think back to the first
Golden
time
machete. I would love to
me and
steal
Jack
that.
met. It all started when he put a heater to my head. Then some badges showed up. Beat the shit out of us both.
Yeah, it was good times.
It's half my
Man, that
fault,
feels like just yesterday,
half
right?
his. And we hightailed it out
Even
together.
yesterday.
Half an hour later, well, we're eating dinner at Mama Wells.
Oh,
Turned
shit.
out to have more in common than we thought.
We both like eating.
Jackie.
We both had principals at school.
Wells.
Yeah, yeah.
Best friend you could ask for. Loyal to a fault. Once he set his mind to something, he was ready to die to achieve it.
Quite literally.
He once told me, bro there, the one thing we can't do is be afraid of others.
Be afraid of yourself, man.
For his loved ones, he'd sacrifice his life without hesitation. But most importantly, Jackie loved life and had no fear. Heart on his sleeve, he didn't overthink things. He just went for it. Thought he was bulletproof.
He wasn't.
Then become legend at the afterlife. And ultimately, he did what he set out to do.
Die.
Shit in the shoes of some powerful people.
Wait, he's shitting shoes?
And if he's watching,
I didn't know. I didn't know he was doing that.
He's flipping them all the bird.
I'd at least brought him some toilet paper.
When you go to war as a boy, you have a great illusion of immortality.
He did it reading a
Other
quote off the
people
back.
get killed, not you.
Wow, what a lackluster
Then,
speech.
when you were badly wounded the first time, you lose that illusion. Rest
Didn't
easy,
even read the
Chew.
book,
I
fam.
would like to say a toast.
I just did. How's it gonna be better than mine?
Por mi hijo.
I'm not gonna pour into fire.
Thank you for your kind words, Vi.
Thank you for my
I'm
kind
glad
words.
you're here.
That's cool.
It was a beautiful ofrenda we gave him.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to the bartender. Hey bartender, do you remember me when I first spawned here in the game?
This See, the Valentinos haven't forgotten about Jackie.
Days like this,
maybe to push it back. I want to play that. Hang. Oh, there you were talking about the map here. Hang on. Can you buy cybernetic in this? You can. You can get upgrades.
Weird being.
Yeah, you can get upgrades basically. But I don't know how often. Like, I think you can buy them whenever you want, but you've got to go to specific people to be installed. So far, I have new eyes and a new hands, basically. I don't think it's Sovtech. It was something else. I can't remember the name now. But it was someone else. It was a different. It was a different company that was supplying the top ones at least. But maybe they also do it. I think there's a few companies that sell them.
Amen, brother.
But like, the only ones we've got so far were free ones, and they were like top level ones. Okay. Talk to Victor, Padre, and Valentinos.
It sucks to meet.
Militech. Thank you. Yes, that's it, Einan. Yeah. We're the only ones from the tabletop.
Farewells aren't that bad once you get used to them.
Have you gotten used to them?
When you get to my age,
I don't know if I need any more shots, man.
They just mostly go.
Jackie Wells.
I don't know if we'll pass out before we get to speak to everybody if we do this. But we're kind of doing it.
A proud son of Haywood.
Well, I should mingle, Vic.
Sure.
Okay, that's cool then. Yeah. But yeah, Militech is one of the people at least.
Have a drink with us. To Wells?
How'd you meet Jackie?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know he's in that.
I got only good memories of him.
We don't need to be so mean to
Rest
me.
easy up there, brother.
Think we might know each other.
Gustavo Horta.
V.
Yeah, I've heard about you.
Take Soviet stuff that was cheaper but wouldn't always work.
Heartfelt condolences,
Okay, they probably have that. I just haven't found those yet.
Campo, and all the
I'm hoping we get a bit more into like
Thank you.
the cybernetic upgrades.
All right, why not?
To Wells. May he rest in peace.
Okay. Talk to Padre.
Pretty good.
She's a strong woman.
Are you Padre? Where is he? Are you Padre? 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 You right?
Hey. Are you alright?
I'm fucking hammered.
I'm just still in that garage, mentally.
Oh. Physically here though, so, you know. Alright. You could go outside and bring the party down.
¿Qué dijiste de mi jefecita? Ya te cargó la chingada.
Yeah, your mum's a cunt. Get him. Yeah, that was pretty good.
A lot of people come today.
No. Where the fuck is Padre? Yeah, shut your blow. I'll come talk to you in a bit. I need to find Padre.
Fuck over, boy.
What? Who the fuck is Padre? I don't want to speak to her. Do I have to go upstairs to speak to whoever Padre is? Who the fuck is Padre? He'll be the priest you would have thought, right? So where is he? Was there a priest? I can't remember. She was kind of chatting. Oh, hello. Huh. Well, that's cool. Maybe he's upstairs. Oh, this looks like it could be Padre. Hey, Padre!
You here to say goodbye to one of your own? Padre?
So in a fight, your soft tech eyes might stop working. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. Savage, but cool.
How are things in the streets?
This is not the place to conduct business. Have some respect.
Fuck you, that's just making conversation.
Jackie, do you know him well?
I remember the day his mother brought him into this world. The day his father left. The day he took you into his home.
Yeah, the nice house.
Yes, V. I knew him quite well.
Oh.
So, Padre, You think Jackie's looking down upon us? From up there?
I believe he has met God, stood before him.
God shut him out.
It.
I don't know if God left the meeting happy, but I'm pretty certain Jackie did.
Alright.
I'm gonna move on.
Go with God.
Fuck your God. He took Jackie away. Yeah, just like I thought, that's a TV. Need to be careful now. Anyway, what were you saying?
Her name is Misty.
What?
Misty. And she was very important to him.
She's like, well,
You
how was she like
understand.
10 minutes ago?
Go. Invite her along for dinner. It's the least she deserves.
Yeah.
You know what? You're a good man.
I am. Give me whatever
Jackie
that
would
is.
want you to have
Yeah,
these.
give me that. Give me it. What is that? Give me it. Give me it. Give me it.
You...
Oh, is that his motorbike?
You sure? Jackie'd kill me if I got so much as a scratch on it.
So don't get any scratches on it.
I will never crash this motorbike. That is a promise. Or so you will be struck down by your God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take such good care of it.
Cuídate, B.
I'm totally going to sell it and then give the money to Vic. Okay. Well, now I've got what I needed. I can leave this shitty-ass funeral. Jeez. I suppose more of a wake. We didn't really do anything with a body, did we? Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet you.
Don't waste my precious time.
You do realise that's a parked car, right? Let's see how this plays out. You gotta go around. Oh shit. Is that Maggie from The Walking Dead? I see dead people. Go to the afterlife. See, yeah, right. Is this still a side mission, or is this now putting us onto a main mission? It's now putting us back to a main mission because we've done that one. Okay, cool. Go to Wilson's shooting range. Yeah, we've got a few of these now. Can we do this one now? Collect your reward? Alright, well, fucking A. I like rewards.
According to the latest report, as much as 20% of the...
Yeah, my game still says area hostile.
Out of my way.
I think what I'm going to do is save and try and reload, and hopefully it doesn't say hostile. Hopefully it's not something that would just appear on my screen now forever. And I've been playing this game for 9 hours and 57 minutes so far. That's nice. Alright, cool. We're not showing us hostile now, that's good. Cool. I stole this car, yeah. I haven't bought a new one yet. I've literally just got a bike that I could call now, I think, but I didn't have a car for a while. But I stole this car, and it's just basically, I mean, it's always just stayed wherever I parked it, which has been where I've ever, you know, got a mission, so it's been with me for a little while now. I didn't get any, like, trouble for nicking it either. Apparently that was perfectly fine. Fucking DeLoreans. Excuse me. Did my wing mirror break? Do we have wing mirrors in the future? Oh, Kirk. Hi, Kirk.
Hey, it's
Good time.
How's things, my chum?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Sure you don't got the wrong number? Seem to recall the last time I saw your face, it had my fist planted in it.
Ah, you know what's past is past. What's more important is the sweet gig I got you. Quick and easy buck. Swing by the Coyote and I'll tell you about it. First round's on me.
Oh,
well,
shit, okay.
What do you say?
Maybe. Fuck off.
Fine. See you there.
I need money.
Same old B. I always said you were smart.
You say a lot of things, Kirk. Pure bullshit included.
Get him.
Oh, no, B. Not this time. This time, everything's just like it's supposed to be. Best not stall too long on this one. Later.
Oh, shit. That was close. That dude needs to learn how to use an indicator. Oh, the frames are not great down here. It's a really cool yellow bite from a game with tiger claws, but disappeared after a cutscene. No, savage. Can I buy lips off you?
Little ass rush
Oh, you're a joy toy.
Slow down. Treat yourself to a little RELAXXX.
Laxatives?
Right here. A curbside massage.
No. Gotta pay extra for that.
Pay. I need to save my money. And the last prostitute didn't even sex me, man. Hey, how you doing? 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 More friends? Hi, I hope you're not busy. Yeah, I want my shit. Give me my shit, Ricardo.
Wakako. Long time no see.
So what brings you here?
Money.
I can't help asking.
I'm gonna have a donut.
How many of those husbands did you have?
5. All went before their time. Terrible family tragedy.
You're not afraid that tragedy will strike you?
Have to live somehow. For my 9 sons.
God damn it.
I'm looking for someone. Ripper Doc, called Fingers.
Oh, I do not recommend him. Slippery type, questionable methods, tech straight from the trash. But he is cheap.
Need to talk to him.
My donut's going.
He has a clinic on Jig Jig Street. Works mainly with the local Joy Toys.
Tell me about Russell Westbrook.
Willing to bet nobody knows Westbrook like you do.
My husbands knew Westbrook, yes. Each of them very high in the tiger claws. Ruled Japantown.
What did they do?
They did what made the best eddies. Gave them the most pull, sold sex and black market tech.
That's fair. Gotta do what you gotta do.
We have some outstanding biz to settle. Remember Sandra Dorset?
I don't forget such things, V. Here is.
I was gonna say, you might reward them.
It comes with a fairly ample bonus. Go see a Ripper Doc. They'll weave you a dermal imprint that will enable smart gun compatibility.
Hey,
a
cool.
Tiger Claw specialty.
We're gonna get a new implant. Sweet. There you go, Annan. This one's just gonna let us do other guns, but we're slowly building it up, you know. Personal link also doubles as a tattoo. Wasn't it nice? Okay. She knew a lot about him. Well, her 5 husbands knew a lot about Russell Westbrook. they were big Rocket fans. Okay.
What is it?
It is nothing. It is nothing. Okay. Right. 1.8 kilometers is quite some distance. Hey, how you doing?
Are you lost?
A little bit. I've never been here before. Brain dance. Cabins? 100% discreet. Okay. We are gonna go collect our free reward. Yeah. Super far away. Maybe, excuse me, we'll get a fast travel taxi. There we go, this fast travel taxi is probably quicker. Pretty nice red light district though, hey. So I'm going to call up for my motorbike. I want to give that a little go. We'll ride it to the information point. Which is literally just down there, but... Oh, is that my car down there? Why is it parked so far away? Wait, is this my actual car? Back? Wait, yeah, this is my original car. I actually have this back now. I didn't have it for ages. Either way. I'm going to... Oh, shit! That works, nice. A pretty tree. Get out of my way! Fuck! For some reason I thought I had to click and drag the map, and so I just clicked on whatever I fucking clicked there. Yeah. Okay. But I got his bike, so how do I get his bike? Oh, hello. Yes, I would like to go to the actual destination, please. Yeah, this will do. Without access to air, you will begin to suffocate and receive damage, which can eventually result in death. Why and when am I going to not have air in this game? Ah. Alright. Hold V. Ah, okay, cool. Right. Oh, I can only call that one at the moment. Wait, I've never had that before. Before it just showed up, didn't it? Oh, here's my car. They delivered my car and my motorbike. I say they. It delivered itself. Oh, actually, let's try doing this in first person. What the fuck is that floating back there? Oh, they're flying cars, aren't they? Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Bad lack of roads. Just let them know I'm here. Oh shit, the police are
All
calling.
NCPD subcons. APB out for suspect accused of organized crime activity near
Oh,
Rock
shit.
Street and Shipyard Way.
Oh shit.
Scavengers led by Yelena Sidorova, presumed armed and dangerous, have assaulted multiple homeless persons. Night City officials are offering a reward for neutralizing the threat.
Alright. Please don't ever just hack into my phone again, though, you son of a bitch. Dynala! It's all about the touch. Oh, they agree. Hey, how you doing?
Look, I don't like it when someone stares at me.
Well, stop having eyes and seeing people stare at you then.
How's biz treating you, Cassius?
Lately, can't complain. MaxTac raided a black clinic not long past.
That's nice.
Since then,
Did you hate
custom
your
accounts
meat?
gone up, and so my prices.
Body implants.
Coincidence? You decide.
Let's
Yes.
see what's good.
Take your pick.
Okay. So Cassius is the brayer who gets us what we need. So we can buy some of these. It's worth 21,000, god damn it. Okay. So they're all quite expensive. But he's got a lot. So all items, vendor items, and my items. So yeah, you can do frontal cortex, ocular system, circulatory system. Oh, these aren't as expensive. Although I'm still saving up that 21 grand. Same as 2% chance of releasing a large electrical shock. Oh my god. Okay, some of these sound amazing. It's just to aim and shoot whilst dodging. Slows time by 25% for 2 seconds when you're detected by enemies. Okay. Increases armor by 20. That sounds pretty good. Is there a better operating system? Yeah, there is, but money and shit. Better skeleton. Increased carrying capacity by 20%. That's pretty good. Is there more for hands, I guess? Oh, okay. These are one of the free ones, so I can take one of the free hand ones. That's cool. 15,000 for those. Fuck. Was there a couple that were like 100, or was that 1,000? I think they were just 1,000, weren't they? They weren't only that cheap. Yeah, okay. Well, why do we keep getting free hands? We already have a hand thing. So, how are these any different from each other? I guess I'll take the free one, please. Let's equip that into it. Okay. So that's the one I already have, right? No, okay. I think that's all we have. Okay, cool. So, you know. Anything nice to steal? Valencia Navalade. Oh shit, nice little setup. Hey, my bike. Right. What side job next? Pay for debt to Victor? Yep, can't do that yet. Have to fight 3 other people and find them first. Have to just find 17 cyber psychos. Go to the fight in again. Time for another rumble. Oh, okay. This might be a good one to try. Danger very high? Yeah, that's probably right. Oh, this dude's really far away though. Oh shit. So let's go to a travel point. Oh shit! Whoa.
Good morning, Night City.
Morning. Not a scratch, right? Yeah. I'm glad you noticed that. I've been driving really well. Been really careful.
The latest polls have Ryan swirling his brandy at a cozy 60%, leaving his challenger, Jefferson Perales, in search of a...
Hey, Rush. Okay. Fast travel there. Nice. So, I mean, you can get into a lot more places with the bike, really. Probably is a good one to do. Okay, so I pressed it once, so something's been sent. Probably... Oh, no, my bike. Okay, cool. And then if I press hold it, it'll give me my entire garage now, so that's cool. Oh yeah, I always want to know what the moon tastes like, but no one will tell me. Beyond cheese, which is a lie, apparently.
Since we're going to work together, only right to say
Who the hell are you? So many random people just call me like, yo.
They call you.
See, no introduction's necessary. I already took care of that.
Someone comes to me with beers, I take care of it. I eat, sleep, and breathe, please. Remember that.
Aye, aye, Captain.
While we're at it, need fresh wheels, bikes, I got it all. Real good price. So hit me up anytime.
I just got a free bike, bro. How are you gonna be a better price than that? Got him. Whee! Nice. I'm just gonna park my bike in that box for safety and shenanigans. Okay, so now we need to fight people. This could go really well or awful.
You said you were looking for work.
And I found it! You say so.
No, this
I'm
is...
here for my fight.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, little bitch.
Hijo de puta in the Glen.
Hey, you look pregnant
And
and
the worst
shit.
father in Night City.
Get him.
Michaela, baby, I know what I'm doing. You gotta
I'm not
trust
talking to you. First you spend a fortune on chrome, and
You're not
now...
the daddy.
Ugh. I give up.
That does look
some
like a lot of
sense into him
chrome.
for me, okay?
Why do you need 6 wheels?
He needs a good lesson.
Sure.
Michaela.
First, we're gonna learn the
wait, for
ABCs
fuck's
of ABC. First is A.
Listen, I need a lot of
Taking
scratch
this B.
and fast. That's why I'm only taking serious wagers. I'm putting my ride on the line. Either you match it in cash, or you can forget about
You're
the
right. Well, how much are you charging for that? 4 grand.
All right, let's talk. What's the car?
A real gem, a tuned-up 2056 classic, but with only 20,000 miles on her. No dings, no patch jobs.
What are you saying, Johnny?
Uh-huh. And stolen?
No, none of that. She's legit. Give you my word. Listen, you don't like the deal? Don't take it. Just don't drag this out. Time is money, and I'm running out of both.
What are you waiting for?
Too rich for me. At least for now.
Right. Well, you
Actually, I
change
wanna
your mind.
change my mind
Let
straight
me know,
away.
okay?
I've changed my mind. Let's fight, bitch.
Okay, I'll match it. We good?
All good. Let's go.
Am I allowed weapons?
So bare hands only, right? No
Oh.
pulling any mono wires or mantis blades out of your ass?
Right.
I asked because the last guy I fought tried to surprise me with long spurs. Anyway, you ready to start?
Yeah, I'm just gonna equip my hands. Let's go.
Yep. Ready to rumble.
Careful now. I don't fuck around.
Damn, he's got loads of strength left. Oh wow, 2-hit kill?
Think you had enough, eh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm game for a rematch. I could always use the extra eddies. Now especially.
I think I need to come back to this dude. Right, we're gonna load up my previous save. Right, we're gonna come back to this dude when we don't punch like a bitch.
You said you were looking for work.
And I found it!
He did find it. He wasn't lying. Okay. So danger very high probably means I'm not ready for it, I'm guessing. Or just get good. I could. I have to beat Dan Aykroyd in a... Oh, Aroyd. Oh, that's not as bad then. He's a grade A prick. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's fine. Animals Club. Feel sorry for you. The guys play hard V. It won't be easy. It won't be fun. Human nature. This one seems very easy to do. Let's do.
No, this isn't work. Have you ever thought what would happen to us if we lost you?
Probably get insurance payout. He doesn't seem like he's worth much more than that anyway.
Lost all our money?
She can do better.
Either you change this or I change the locks.
I don't even need to fight this dude. Sounds like she's going to finish him off quite soon. Is my bike fucked because it's in a box? Yep, I can't drive this bike anymore. Well, shit. Insurance fraud. I mean, I'm going to sue you. Not fraud. Slide to the box. Oh, I didn't slide. Right, up and away. If they called Max Tack, they're all screwed. Okay. Some call this space the domain of rogue AIs, I'll call it the data hell, but in fact nobody knows that. Oh shit. Shivs.
You're worth it.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, you looking for someone?
Maybe, I don't know. How much junk I got? $21 worth of junk? Wow. I have a lot of clothes I could probably get rid of actually. We can always buy new jackets if we really want them, I guess. Right at the moment. $4 bra. I'm going to keep streetwear ones. I quite like those. And they're equipped, okay. Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, look.
Where the fuck's Johnny? Is he already inside or what? Hey, how you doing? Jesus Christ.
From all foods. Provides 330% of recommended daily vitamins.
Second Amendment is not only for the rich. Feeling kumquatty today? Las Palapas Motel, Brain Dance's full bar buffet. Sweet, clean speed. Life is too short to be slow. Big. All foods. Medical malpractice. Bottoms up.
A city tingling with desire. Will do anything to scratch.
Oh.
New episodes every Wednesday at 10. Only on WNX.
It's my new car. What?
Johnny, did you see what happened? Something feels off here.
You don't say.
What the fuck was that about?
I mean, the run. City's most courteous chauffeur ups and drives away from the scene of an accident.
It's a BB motherfucker. Whoa! Most heinous. Please ask sincerest apologies for going traveling incident, blah blah blah. We're already at the HQ, because that would be really handy. 40 meters, alright. It's gonna be a lot more than 40 meters, isn't it? 1.4 kilometers, god damn it. Let's head to that one. Oh wait, it's what I wanted down there? Oh no, it says up there. Is that where the actual travel thing is though? Hang on. Yeah, it's still trying to guide me there, okay.
It's time for your local news. Violence continues to plague the Badlands. Shootings have been reported.
The hell? No. No way.
No way!
NCPD, open up.
Do it. They'll murder you. Wait, am I right by the building now? Hang on.
Got another dry, sun-filled week coming your way, Night City. But soak in that sun while you can.
Where is the HQ? Why is it putting the marker here when it's not? Okay, it's down here. Right, sweet. Let's go here.
You don't know me, but you will.
Oh, that's good.
Name's Dino.
Hi, Dino.
Deal with downtown, city center.
V.
Yeah, I know. What about you? Odd stuff.
Thanks.
Need anything, you call me. Remember, Dino knows everybody.
Alright. Guess he knows Santa. Got my car so far away. The fuck happened there? That was you. That was your fault entirely. Oh, the frames have gone a bit awful. Does driving like this make any better? Not much. Fucking hell. What is happening? It's a busy day in Night City, and the frames are not out and about. Oh, I didn't choose to get off the bike.
My lawyer's gonna go data crash on your ass. You hear me?
No, you've got the same problem too. Wait, get out of my way. Get out of my way.
To give me your lawyer's contact information.
Fuck you, Cirque Brain!
Okay, that seemed good.
Thank you.
Hi.
Processing data now. Please wait.
Hey, Del.
Hello, sir or madam. How can I be of service?
What's got into you, Del? Don't recognize me?
Oh.
You sent me a message saying I should come in about the accident.
You are currently speaking to a Delamay network subroutine. Alas, my operational capabilities are limited.
Oh shit.
Could you please clearly recite your incident report
Give
number?
them any numbers. That's how they find you.
Who?
Corpse, dude.
Listen, I want to talk to Delamay.
You are currently being assisted.
Am I?
Your identity has been confirmed based on a facial recognition scan.
Motherfucker.
Mr. Hans Jonas, what phrase would best describe your experience?
Mr. Hans Jonas.
771
Is that my name, Hans Jonas?
110
Instead of V?
096. Mr. Hans Jonas.
Actually, a
what
little
phrase-
heartbroken about my damaged ride, but I'd rather talk to the real Delamay if I can.
Oh.
V. My apologies if the receptionist was a bother. I'm preoccupied with the crisis that is
Motherfucker.
ongoing, and I simply cannot oversee everything. I've taken the liberty
He's a
of
terrible
transferring a
albino
settlement
Dr.
to your
Manhattan.
account to compensate for the damage done.
Special treatment.
Hey, special treatment.
Would you mind if we spoke elsewhere?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, let's talk.
Then please follow the drone.
See you nerds, enjoy your fucked up cars. Hi drone, how you doing, buddy? Oh, you got a little face on you? Isn't that cute?
Customer service is less than satisfactory at the moment.
Yeah, it's been awful, man.
Perhaps a
What's been
guided
going wrong?
tour will prove some form of compensation.
Sure.
This corridor links the shop to the office.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh.
Here is where the magic is. Broadening my portfolio to include repair services.
Think I know why.
Was he still talking?
Incidents is proving costly, aside from drawing unwanted attention to the company. The control room. I feel honored to have you here. Rather,
Pretty nice.
surprisingly,
No chairs though.
Control rooms are for Organics. What good is it to you?
there was a time this facility was human operated. I simply inherited their infrastructure.
Fair enough.
All these lights, what are they for?
That's what I wish to discuss with you. A green light denotes a vehicle with which I am in contact. As you can see, that is no longer the case for some vehicles. Those are the red lights.
Repair drones can't take care of this?
This time, I fear, human intervention is required.
Oh shit.
I'm aware you offer a broad range of services and are unusually discreet. Thus, I'd like you to assist me in recovering my missing vehicles.
Why is discretion a concern?
Unnoticed, unbothered, right? In my case, broadly tolerated. Yet a marked increase in inspections suggests the authorities have begun monitoring me.
Oh shit.
Talking NCPD or Netwatch?
The latter. My legal status does not fit neatly within current regulations. If I'm not careful, I could easily be categorized as an illegal immigrant.
Oh shit. I help.
Okay, sure. I'll go after your missing wheels.
I'm
You need to
pleased
fix your
hear
bot though, dude.
I shall send you the coordinates of their last known locations. You must simply deactivate each. I'll then re-establish the link and return them to my garage.
See what I can do.
Delamain vehicles are exceptionally secure. Be sure to have a scanner with decryption capability on your person.
Sure. Have one of those, maybe? Oh no, here it is. That makes stuff easier. Wow, shit. I just wanted to lower it. Alright, let's get this stuff and then look at that computer quick.
Thank you. Processing data now. Please wait.
Shit. I don't know the code. Have they got it written down?
Thank you. Processing data now.
Okay.
Please wait.
I got refund yet? They just gave me triple in there. Whoa! Okay. So that's just more on the side jobs, isn't there? So we have those side jobs, and then there's all like these side jobs here that don't tell you what they are, and undiscoverables. Cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there for tonight. Anyway, I want to sleep at a normal time tonight, so I will probably play some of this off stream as well. I think what I'll do is I'll focus on like side quests and stuff off stream, but I'll try and only do the main quests on stream, so then that way we can have like the full story still on the stream itself. But yeah.